Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. I'm back. If you think you've been watching a stream for 30 minutes until now you haven't. That stream doesn't exist. It's not just unlisted on my channel and is completely unarchived. I forgot to save the unlisting. It's still... Okay, I fixed that. Yeah, you would definitely remember if you watched a 30-minute stream. Hello, welcome, welcome. I apologize for the power tools in the background. Small dogs. Uncle is in the is on the patio repairing a sinkhole that opened up on like the porch and collapsed it right in front of the steps and tried and killed any postal worker. And then her mom and uncle are like fixing a banister that also collapsed in the middle of the night. And then also a shed that collapsed, and this house is falling apart. Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Lilybwees. I'm your blue-haired divorce streamer with pronouns. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Oh, Disaster, did Small Dog's baby sister end up leaving? Do we only have one stranger at the house now scaring the daylights out of Grib? Okay, cool. I was wondering. We are down to one stranger. Also, like, I should probably not do the thing where I end stream, an archive stream, add a new stream, but also, I don't care, it's my channel. I already don't do anything I should be doing as a streamer. I don't make shorts. I don't encourage people to comment. I really need to start encouraging people to comment. Please comment, I beg of you. I'm gonna start saying rage bait just to get people to comment and fight with me in the comments. I think that's probably like the biggest thing I can actually do for my channel. It's very fun, like, behind the scenes, like, for not many subscribers, the amount that I make from memberships is like, I'm incredibly grateful. Especially if you look at the current discourse that's all on Twitter right now. And also, the metrics, the amount that you guys watch is incredible. And the amount of people that actually tune in for my size is really, really good. And it's also really funny because I have no engagement from comments or anything, so my channel should not be going how it do. But it do. It does. We're kind of stumbling backwards into this. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, yeah, if you missed the unarchived 30-minute stream, basically, it turns out while I was in the hospital, I had left my tracking phone on, which is like just an old iPhone that I stopped using because it got old and was getting really hot and just impossible to use, but it works fine tracking. Which a lot of people have issues with overheating and battery stuff, but just running VTube Studio in streaming mode actually works fine. And then and then the iPad that I used to use for tracking before I dug this out of a box, because this thing is... It was one of the first iPhones that worked for tracking. That had the, like, ARKit stuff? Is that what it's called? I should remember these terms, but I really don't remember the terms. It was like one of the first iPhones that done it, so it's very old. But I found it in a box. So I use it now because it blocks less of my monitor. Before I was using an iPad that I got for note-taking. When I first went back to... The third time I went back to college... Jesus Christ. Anyway, well, I've been at all the hospital trips and recovering and all of that. I guess they were all left on, so everything was dead when I was starting stream, and I had lost cables. I don't even know what happened to the YouTube chat HTML. I think I was in the middle of, like, making a theme or something, and it's completely broken. Every window's everywhere. I forgot how to do all of this. There were strangers in the house. Yeah. Been a little out of it. A little bit frazzled. My brain's a little bit fried. The tracking's still weird. I don't know what's going on. A lot of next week is going to be co-working streams while I try and fix some of this stuff and try and not be running on life support like I've been running on for the past year. I'm going to start talking about that. Warning, disclaimer. I'm talking about hospital trips. There's going to be some weird medical details. Why do I have... Oh, that's what that is. It's like a container of, like, keyboard lube. Which is, like, not weird, but it's because I saw a logo that just said Glorious Lube on my desk, and I was... sure was confused for a little bit. That makes sense. There's a million stuff on my desk. I have debt collections from the first hospital trip that I need to call. I have, like, stuff from my new hand cam setup that I was going to use. I mean, it's the old hand cam setup. It's just infinitely more insane now. There's like one of those, it's like it has a ball mount, tripod mount, and also like a macro focusing rail on it, and which is all hooked up to a VESA mount, which is all on a keyboard monitor thing, and it's all powered to like a mirrorless camera that has a old manual focus lens on it. It's not a good hand cam setup. Like, you should really just use a webcam. But it's just things that I've accumulated over the years. It works well, I like it, but... Anyway. I'm also unmedicated today. I woke up too late to take my Adderall. If I take it after 11, even though I'm on, like, the bare minimum dose of the extended release stuff, I cannot sleep. So... Anyway. Hi, Cubby. Cup. Gretel baby. You wanna come sit in your chair? Yep. Wanna come sit in it? Here, let me get the blanket on my lap. You can come sit there. Anyway. So yeah, hospital trips. Where did I want to start off? So... Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving before last. And I also don't know which BGM is playing. I turned on one of them. I don't know if it's too loud or not. It's not playing through my monitoring. I think it all broke when I was trying to get Switch audio working. Gub, you are blocking the tracking again. Little baby. Come on. Come sit in my lap. So... The Thanksgiving before last, which was the last time I had visited my mom before everything started going to shit for her. Oh, I can knock it down a bit? Okay. Before the whole legal battle stuff, which I can't talk about in detail. Well, I can talk about it. I didn't sign anything, but I don't want to cause any problems. But anyway... during Thanksgiving, I was in excruciating pain. I had to delay my flight. I thought it was a kidney stone because I've had kidney stones before, and I knew they were kidney stones because it bled on the way out. As I said, I'm going to be discussing medical stuff, but, yeah, sometimes when it comes out, it cuts stuff up. And it hurts and leaves some blood. But, anyway... So I knew I had a history of kidney stones, so I assumed it was kidney stones. But it didn't seem like a kidney stone. It didn't pass like a kidney stone. It didn't respond to my normal pain mitigation that I use for kidney stones. But I thought it was a kidney stone. You know, so why am I talking about that? Well, let's fast forward to month before last off-kai. Oh, I have DVR on. That shouldn't be on. A month before last off-kai, I was in the worst pain of my life. And I thought it was a kidney stone again. It was excruciating pain. I was vomiting from pain. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't really do anything. But, you know, I thought it was a kidney stone. But, you know, soaking in hot water wasn't working. Pain meds weren't sufficient. And it soon got to the point where I couldn't keep food or drink down. And when I could, I was eating dense, fatty meals because I was trying to get whatever calories I could into me. Because usually when, yeah, it's been since off-kai. So I couldn't keep food or drink down. Eventually, or very inconsistently, it got to the point where I couldn't keep liquids down at all. I was able to do like spoonfuls of water. But it had gotten so bad, we went to the ER in May? Yeah, last May. They did some, you know, they did CT scan, they did an ultrasound, they did a bunch of labs, and they were like, well, it's not your kidneys, you don't have any kidney stones, but your gallbladder's super inflamed. But we don't see any stones, so we're not going to do anything. We're just going to send you home. Yeah. Yeah, no, the pain was so bad, I was like, do I have to get a cane for off-kai, or do I have to just straight up cancel my trip? But they sent me home. You know, they didn't do surgery, and I didn't get a referral to a surgeon. But, you know, they didn't detect stones, so I was like, oh, well, they're not going to do surgery, because they said if we don't detect stones, we're not going to do surgery. You don't have any signs of an infection, because your liver labs and everything look normal. And, you know, normally those two are connected, so if your gallbladder gets infected, it kind of spreads the liver a bit, and you can run labs and detect that, hey, things aren't right with your liver, and that's how you like detect infection if you don't like see it. But they were like, it's inflamed, change your diet, and I did. Yeah, they didn't find a stone. Foreshadowing. So then, ever since then, let's go through... When did I actually finally go to the ER again? End of February, start of March? Thank you, Halo, for the membership. Thank you, thank you. It was... Hello, V-Racist Shallows. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. So, you know, almost a year passed. Like 9-10 months. I was just having severe flare-ups of pain. And keep in mind, all this time I'm dealing with inconsistent access to psychiatric meds, inconsistent access to my hormones. I found out all of my dosages I had functionally detransitioned. So my hormones were all messed up. So there's just... Yeah, like, I was taking some meds, but not enough of some meds, and the dosages were all weird, and I didn't have access to a doctor for financial reasons, because I was getting... So I had some stuff, but then I was also rationing a bunch of stuff, and it was a nightmare. So if I seemed like a mess during last off-kai, those who met me, That's because I was a complete mess during last Offkai. And also a lot of stuff happened during last Offkai, which I'm not really going to talk about on stream, but... You know, and then a lot of stuff was happening to friends around last Offkai. You've seen with, you know, Barry and V Shoujo and all of that mess. You know, Barry was my roommate during Offkai. It was Barry, Mimi, and KK. So, anyway. So everything was a disaster. And everything's been a disaster since. But I've also had flare-ups of pain that have lasted multiple days up to like over a week. And what I had to do is basically every time that happened, I had to stop all fat, basically switch to like under like 8 or 9 grams of fat a day, which is insanely low. But like anything more than that like could cause flare-ups. And I was having to self-medicate with edibles because... And lay in your bed in agony because you couldn't function like a human. Yeah, I've been doing that for about 10 months now. So, fast forward, end of February, start of March. My mom comes over to help because I've been in so much pain. My life is falling apart. Job search is going disastrously. I get some contract work, but I can't do the contract work because I'm so sick. And then, and my living space is now a disaster. I'm living in the basement of a small dog's home. But my living conditions was basically, it looked like a junkyard. It was just boxes and packaging and packages and everything just, it was unwalkable. I could not walk to the light in the room, the light switch in the room to turn it on and off. I had one path and it was to get to my desk. My clothes situation is there was a pile of clean clothes on like a paint it was a disaster. But my mom really loves cleaning for people that aren't herself. She loves organizing. And I was desperate, and she had been talking a while about like coming out and like helping us like get the house together and stuff. Because I'm the worst. Small dog is easily second worst. She is not great either. She's not as bad as I am, but Small dog is not amazing when it comes to keeping things tidied either. I will say, let me be clear and clear my name a little. It was a disaster because I functionally hadn't unpacked in well over a year. There wasn't food waste and mold and stuff. It was clean. It was just a disaster. So, like, I do not have food items, or like sometimes I'll bring down a drink, but then I like throw it away or wash it out. Towards the end, when things were really bad, I had some like empty glasses down here that I had water in. So I wasn't living in filth. I was living in a mess. Clearing my name. Anyway. So my mom comes and, I'm talking to her a lot. And I need to dodge the mold allegations. The basement's surprisingly mold free for how humid it is here. But anyway, my mom's helping out. But things have gotten so bad, I'm like, I'm going to go to the ER trip again. I'm going to eat some fatty food, cause a flare-up, and get myself into the ER because I cannot deal with this. And, I don't have health insurance. I don't have a general practitioner. Only way I can get medical treatment is go to the ER and then talk to the hospital for financial assistance. And I had been struggling with debt collections from the previous hospital trip because I was in so much pain afterwards. I was not checking the mail regularly, and what do you know? Yay, everything got transferred to collections. Turns out when you don't really have much of an income, they don't actually care that much. They're just kind of like annoying, but also they're like, we're not going to get any money from you, so we're just going to like go through the motions, but we know we're not going to get anything. So they're like, whatever. But anyway, well, I don't even need to trigger a flare-up. I'm just in excruciating pain. So I go to the ER. They do the CT scans, they do the ultrasound, and what do you know? It's inflamed. You know, my gallbladder is inflamed, but there's no sign of infection. There are no stones. So they're not going to do surgery, but they refer me to a surgeon. Because usually if you're having this kind of inflammation, how you deal with it is surgery. You might try some medications, but usually those don't work, and then you go to surgery. So they referred me to a surgeon at the hospital. So I go to, so now I go to the hospital, the regular hospital, not the ER. So I'm in pain for like 2 weeks. Waiting for that, get to the hospital. And she's like, oh yeah, so this is, so we need to do like more testing like before we would do surgery. There's and it's kind of expensive. There's the option of some medications, and these can help. I usually don't have a good long-term success with them with patients, but they should definitely help unless there's something really wrong. And I'm like, and the medications are relatively affordable. It's gonna cost me like, I don't know, like $50-$60 a month, which is not great because I don't have insurance. Yeah, I'm burning through money, obviously, with all the appointments and everything too, because hospital appointments aren't something you go through financial assistance for. Those are something you pay for out of pocket if you don't have insurance. Thankfully, they have discounted rates if you're paying out of pocket. But anyway, but I'm like, okay, that's something. I'll take it. This way we don't have to pay 10 grand for surgery out of pocket, because I'd be self-pay for the surgery. Yeah, all of this in the background is Medicaid doesn't like me having a streamer income. So I've been unable to get Medicaid because they're just confused. And they've been cutting resources to it, so it's like really hard to like reach out and get stuff figured out because I have a weird inconsistent income and they don't like that. But anyway. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I'm taking these medications for a week, and the pain is getting worse and worse and worse. And I call the doctor, and I'm like, the pain is really bad. I don't know what to do. And they're like, next step would be the testing. That's very expensive. If you are nauseous and vomiting, and you go to the ER, and you tell them you're nauseous and vomiting, and you give them my name and say that you're a patient of mine, and to reach out to them, in this situation, if you were to go to the ER, you might be able to get surgery and go through financial assistance, hypothetically, is basically what she was saying on the, so basically my surgeon said, I know you can't pay for this. If you go to the ER, tell them about specific symptoms, tell them to contact me, you can get surgery and go through financial assistance that's at the hospital. And I didn't even need to fake it because I started throwing up. The pain was, things were bad. So, so this is third ER trip now for this stuff. So 1 regular hospital visit, 3 ER trips. At this point, I go in. They almost discharge me until I like re-emphasize to a nurse, hey, the doctor told me, the surgeon told me to contact her. Has anyone contacted her? And they were like, oh, I don't think they ever actually followed up with that. I'll make sure. Fast forward half an hour to an hour, and they're like, yeah, so the doctor wants to know if you're okay having surgery. Thank God, because I was about to be discharged again. And I was like, sure. So I'm in, you know, so I get moved to a room, instead of like the waiting room where I just have like, I'm just sitting there with IVs in pain on a bunch of pain meds and nausea meds and all sorts of fun stuff. But like, you know, it's not like severe enough that I need my own bed in the hospital. And we're like pretty close to downtown Baltimore. This hospital is like a little outside of like deep downtown. But you know, it's definitely not a, it's definitely a pretty busy hospital. So, you know, beds and rooms are like very carefully allocated. This is also a different hospital than the one I went to before. Thank God. Because the one before didn't give me, you know, a referral. This one actually gave me one. So I get the surgery. And surgery goes well. Everything's fine. I have my Mint plush with me the entire time, except for like the actual operation. And, you know, go in and out. I get home. You know, and I'm able to get discharged that night because it's a pretty, because basically everything seems to go very well. And it's a laparoscopic surgery, so generally it's like pretty easy recovery. And, you know, I should be back to functioning within a week. Should be is the key words for this. So I, you know, have a follow-up like 2 weeks out. And I'm like, great. I'm just going to rest for a week, take a bunch of these narcotics and nausea meds and everything, and it'll be great. I'll be perfectly fine. Well, fuck. Things weren't fine. So after the surgery, I had a bunch of bruises around the incision site. And I could tell where, it was on my left side, not the side of the gallbladder, and gallbladder's on your right side, but the left side, the one where they actually took the gallbladder out through, there was a big, you know, there was a big ol' bruise. But I've never gotten surgery when I wasn't a child, so like, I thought this was normal. Well, it was the size of a grapefruit. But the pain was really bad too. So I'm eventually calling, you know, and after talking to Implode, who basically calls me an idiot, and talking to my mom, who's basically like, no, that's not normal, I go back to the doctor like a little bit earlier. You know, like I'm like, hey, I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm like worried about some, you know, because there's some like drainage, you know, I'm just worried there's an infection or something, you know, I don't know. You know, I'm like calling the overnight nurse, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we'll talk, like, but like, you probably don't need to go to the hospital, it's probably fine. And then that morning I'm like, hey, can you come back to the hospital? Can you come, your doctor's in surgery right now, but can you like come like this afternoon today, please? And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I didn't have fever or anything, so, but, and there wasn't pus, so I, you know, wasn't super urgent, but they were worried. And I go in and I get it looked at. And so I get told, oh yeah. You know, like, so they had detected some sludge on the scans, which like, it was good for justifying the surgery. Well, they did like the dissection, and gallbladder was super infected, and had probably been infected this whole time. And there was like what was the size of it? I don't think it was it a 10 centimeter stone? 12 centimeter? Or was it just 1 centimeter? Am I thinking millimeters? 12 millimeter? There was a big ass stone lodged in it, but just not visible on the scans. I don't know if it was like a 1 centimeter or a 10 centimeter. It's at the... No, so I might be wrong. I might be thinking millimeters. Keep in mind, it might be millimeters. I can probably check. I've definitely said this in the vent channel in our group chat. Okay, it was only a 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. We were good. We're good. 1 centimeter is still massive, actually, for gallstone. That's the thing. A lot of gallstones are like 2 or 3 millimeters. But it was just, it had embedded itself in the duct. So they weren't able, despite doing imaging 3 times at 2 different hospitals, 2 different kinds of imaging, CT scans and ultrasounds. And they were extensive with it. Like, these were not like quick ultrasounds. Oh my God, it was miserable. They couldn't find it. It had just embedded and lodged itself in a way that it wasn't detected. And so everything was instructed, everything was infected. I had been fighting off this infection for God knows how long. It explains all the pain. It just never moved to the liver, so it was never detected in the blood tests. But it was bad enough that, and I had been dealing with it for so long that, if I hadn't gone into the ER to get the removal, by the amount of time that it would have taken to go through outpatient surgery and get the tests done and get the surgery scheduled, and yeah, I don't think I would have died. But I don't think I would have had laparoscopic surgery. I'm pretty sure it would have been open surgery. Whole thing would have been a lot worse than it was. But, you know, I go in, and she looks at the bruise, and she's like, "You're not on blood thinners, are you? I don't remember you being on blood thinners." And I'm like, "No." And she's like, This is thank you, it's scrupulous agitated. They were like, "This is the healing, and like, this is what I would expect to see from a patient on blood thinners." That's how bad the bruising was from after the surgery. So what was supposed, and she was like, "Do you want another 2 weeks of narcotics?" This thing that they only prescribe for a week after surgery, that I'm supposed to be all better by. And I'm like, no, because narcotics have a fun side effect of completely messing up your digestive system. And causing, you know, bloating, constipation and stuff. Well, it turns out that fucking hurts when you're missing a digestive organ and have a huge cut and are healing. I'm in a lot of pain. They're also highly addictive, but I've actually opioids and benzos and all of that, I've actually tolerate fairly well without the we don't really have a family history of that kind of stuff, which is thankful. They're highly addictive, but using them for a few weeks is not going to cause an issue generally. It's long-term use that's the issue. But I'm like, no. It's just I should have said yes, but I'm like, no. But the nerve medication that they gave me, the nerve pain medication, same stuff that my sister actually took after her botched spinal surgery. And like, I'll do that. Oh yeah, this is also how I found out that my mom and I, laxatives don't affect us. Which is insane. Like, or not all laxative, but the most common kinds of laxatives don't work. In order to get any effect, we have to take like... she lost feeling in half of her body because of a botched surgery. But basically, they are... yeah, no, she's... so she was always like, "I can send you some of my nerve medication if you need it." Because I'm taking, after surgery, I was taking way less frequency and way lower dosage than what she is still taking to this day of Lyrica. But that stuff works. I wish I had taken more stuff though. I was on the Lyrica, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Zofran, mixed dosage stuff. But yeah, the whole... she's still in. She's gotten most of her feeling back, and she can walk again, which is good. And she can mostly use her hands and stuff. She doesn't have full feeling yet in all of her hand, but it's enough that she can do rock climbing, for instance. But like, I bought her a controller so that she can play games, because she was really struggling to play a lot of games on the keyboard, for instance. It's just like hard for her. But I mean, like, she's finishing her master's, so she's typing. Yeah, it's a very long recovery. It's not going to be full because they damaged her spine. It was a botched neck surgery. No, you're fine. No, it's very funny. Like, I had to, like, talk to my sister. Like, hey, is this normal? Is this not normal? Because she has a lot more experience than I do. Anyway. So, yeah. Everything... So, I go there, I get this, and... basically, healing's a nightmare. You know, so I'm at the hospital twice now. 3 ER trips. And things seem to be going better. I seem to be on an upswing. I go to the movies. Movie's fun. I see Project Hail Mary. It's good, but I don't like parts of it. I have strong feelings on that movie. Not all of them positive. It's good but shallow, is how I would describe my thoughts of it. It's good but shallow and very heavy-handed, with a lot of stuff. But it was fun. I'm glad I saw it. Anyway, yeah. But anyway, so I'm thinking things are going good, and I'm like, I'm gonna return to streaming. Well, I think I had said I'm going to return to streaming because I was feeling so much better from the surgery. Like, keep in mind, I no longer have this infection in my body that I've had for a year. I can eat food again. I'm no longer chronically fatigued. Like, it's night or day difference. Like, I don't know if you can tell. I am sleep deprived. I've started my master's program. I'll get to that. But like, I definitely feel livelier. I don't know if that comes across, but, and this is without the Adderall, which definitely affects things. So small dog is home. Yep. But, basically, I start developing, you know, the pain starts coming back, and I start getting nausea. And the nausea's around for 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, oh, this is a problem, isn't it? And, you know, I contact the doctor, and they're like, yeah, we're going to move up your follow-up to your follow-up. You know, but go to the ER if you stop being able, you know, to get fluids in, because, you know, that's dangerous. It's, like, life-threatening if you can't drink fluids. I can't keep fluids down. So we go back to the ER. And the diagnosis is post-operative abdominal pain. I'm just in so much pain from this recovery from hell for what's supposed to be a 1 week, like a 1 week you're back to normal. You just don't lift things for like 2 months recovery period. I'm like 3 or 4 weeks out. And I'm in so much pain, I'm dehydrated because I can't keep fluids down. What they essentially do is pump me full of fluids, some pain meds, and anti-nausea meds, and basically what you do to a cat with a tummy ache. So there's this thing with cats where if they get nauseous, they stop eating or drinking, right? Because they're nauseous. Well, if they stop eating or drinking, they get nauseous. So they continue not eating or drinking, which makes them nauseous. So they're not eating or drinking. And they get into this horrible, horrible cycle. And then you have it at an emergency vet, and it's like, and you're like $300 or $400 later, $300 or $400 for a very expensive tummy ache. Like, you know, they'll get some IVs and some anti-nausea meds in them, so then they're like, so then they can like start eating again and get out of that cycle. I was basically in that cycle, but it was purely from pain. So thankfully, I finally go back. You know, I thought I was all better. Then, you know, I'm back in the ER again. Thankfully, you know, there's no complications. I'm just in pain. Everything's recovering great. All my labs are normal. There's no signs of infection. It's just going slowly, and I'm in a lot more pain than you would normally expect. Oh, no, it's also the hydration injection. Yes, no, that's, you give them the hydration injection and the anti-nausea meds, and that gets them out of the nausea, and that's basically what they did to me. That's basically, yeah, that's basically what they did to me. They pumped me full of saline. They gave me a bunch of Zofran and stuff, and some pain meds to get me out of the cycle, so that I could eat or drink again. So, you know, and so follow-up after that is basically, okay, the pain's not normal, but it's not concerning. And, you know, like, it's not like a concerning pain, like, you know, it's normal for like 6 weeks to get like some pain in the surgery area. I'm just having more pain than normal. And I'm pretty sure they banged up my insides on the left, hence all the huge bruising, because I'm not on blood thinners. So I don't know what they fucked up there. But basically I'm finally good. I definitely have pain, periodically. You know, I'm not, but it is manageable. And it is much shorter duration. But I've been, you know, my body's been recovering. And of course, while I'm like trying to recover from that, you know, like, my master's program starts up. Basically, I've had so much trouble finding work that I've been like, fuck it, I'm doing a professional master's, and I'm just hoping that's enough. I'm doing an online master's, but the problem is it's a condensed master's. It's a 1-year program, but it's a full professional master's, so it's you know, what's normally a 15-week class is a 10-week class. It's a lot, and I'm sick out of my mind. So I've been basically, what energy I have had, what like times I'm like cognizant. Is that the word? Might be the word. I think it's like I'm coherent and I'm like have energy have been spent on that. But I'm finally getting on track with that. Finally not in constant pain. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the wishes. I'm not in constant pain. Finally. I've been wanting to stream. Every time I'm like, I'm gonna stream this week, and then something else happens. Like, I'm gonna stream. No, I've been trying to stream. It's been a nightmare, but I'm finally alive. I can go back to streaming. I can work on my masters. I can eat food and keep it down sometimes. I've also had nausea, but I think it's been anxiety. A combination of anxiety, because my body's just super sensitive to like anxiety at this point. And I've always kind of had a weak stomach, and then and then missing one of my digestive organs and also having the pain definitely isn't helping. But I'm finally on the right track. I'm gonna start up with contract work. Gonna apologize profusely. Clothed Dogeza. But yeah, now I can finally start streaming again. Also, I might be moving in with my mom. Change of topic, but kind of related, kind of not. Basically, I'm not gonna have work for the next year or so, probably. Because I'm focusing on my masters, I cannot do a job and a masters at the same time. So I'm probably moving out from Small Dog's basement and in with my mom for a few reasons. You know, there's the not having work, you know, the financial aspect of it. There is the Griddle and Isla, my other cat, who is now Disaster's cat. She has adopted him as her favorite human, which I'm happy and her quality of life has gone up, I think, because she's just, she can't coexist with Griddle, and Griddle can't, like, she'll be hunkered down by the food dish just growling constantly if Griddle even exists in the same space, and it's like this is just stressing them both out. And, you know, obviously Griddle isn't helping. She's getting growled at because she's been a little shit who's tackled her since she was a kitten. But when she was a kitten, it was fine. Isla would just, like, judo flip her. That part was fine. But then she got bigger. And Isla lost her patience. And Grib, she loves the other cats. And she loves the people. But she does not understand cat anything. She doesn't understand territory. She is just, I don't know. But it's definitely stressing them both out, and it's not a good situation for them. And then my mom is like, my mom's like early 50s. She's not old. And she moved out to like Washington State. Because she thought it would be like a good place to kind of, you know, she can't live where she used to live because of all the legal stuff. I mean, she could, but she just wants to distance herself from things, not have any potential issues, want to make sure, you know, the settlement like goes well. Fuck my brother. Anyway, because, you know, he'll absolutely use any excuse to weasel out of it. So she's kind of alone, no longer has any contact with anyone that she used to work with, you know, doesn't have contact with her friends who she used to live by. She moved there because it's a nice place. It's good for me with the trans stuff, and it's good for my sister because the middle sister is, I mean, she's lesbian, and, you know, she wants to be in a place that will be safe for us as kids. You know, us as her kids. She wants to go to a place where I can get medical treatment if I need, where my sister doesn't need to worry about, like, living with her partner. And she was looking at different places, but she decided on Washington. And she's, like, you know, in a, like, cute town, and it's great, but she is very isolated. And she kind of knew she was going to be, but I don't think she knew how isolated she was going to be. And the problem is... Thank you, Kira. And the problem is... Hi, Grub. You have blocked the track. Do you want to sit? Where do you want to sit, baby? What are you doing? Stop playing with the... Also, I'm sorry if you can hear the power tools. We will not have a giant hole in the deck, thankfully. But basically, my mom has been kind of sad and lonely, and it's been affecting her health and and she's been like crying a lot. And I think it was also really rough doing holidays without any of us nearby. And so I know Easter was really rough for her. She's not that we're like, we're not a religious family at all. We've never been. My mom had bad experiences growing up with that stuff, so she like offered us, as a kids, we could choose if we wanted to do anything, and we were like, nah. I was like, I want to stay home and play Legos. I don't want to go to church. And she's like, okay. So we all kind of went through that. The only one who ever has has regularly gone to church has been my brother. But he's only gone to church to get laid. Let's be real. So, but anyway, yeah. But basically my mom's doing really poorly. She's really isolated, and her health is deteriorating, and it's like she kind of needs someone there to push her to like leave the house, do hobbies, go on walks, all of that. And I also do the same thing where, I will stagnate if I'm not pushed. Not that I've been like stagnating here. Like, I'm going on walks and stuff. I'm like, but also like, I want to play card games and do other stuff, but also I don't want to like constantly put a burden on Small Dog or Disaster to like drive me places, especially with the cost of gas and everything. It's like, and I can't drive, and I can't afford taking rideshare every time to go do stuff. So it's one of those situations where, my mom doesn't want me to move just for her, but it would be good for my mom and I. Definitely financial situation is not the great, and also it's good for the cats. Grubby's gonna get evicted. So. Yeah. But yeah, so I might be moving there come September. So that'll be fun. Gub might get a little sister, maybe. My aunt's fostering some kittens, and my mom will be visiting them around when I'm moving in, so who knows. Might end up with another cat. For Grub to eat. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. For now, though, I'm with Small Dog and Disaster, who I do love, and I do consider family. So, but yeah, that's kind of where things are at. I've been to the ER and the ER and the ER and the hospital and the hospital and the ER and the hospital and the... Yeah. It's been a long year. But yeah, so, if you've seen me posting a lot on Twitter, it's because I've been stuck in bed in excruciating amounts of pain, unable to keep food down. And unable to use my desktop computer or consoles or anything. I've been playing RuneScape on phone and on Twitter and Discord because I can't do anything else besides read. I've also read a lot. It's not been great. Maybe pick some fights I shouldn't have. Don't take back anything I said though. I agree with what I said. But was it a good idea to say everything that I said on Twitter? Publicly? No. Have I probably burned every potential bridge I could have ever made? Yes. Yeah, probably, yeah. See ya, small dog. Good luck getting Momo into the car. Have I... Hi, Kyle. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, oops. Oops. I'm not becoming a politics streamer, though. I'm not doing that. I do not have the... I cannot do that. That... Yeah. Hugo, thank you for the membership. Thank you, thank you. I think I don't know, becoming that or becoming like a news or drama or any of that, that just seems like that way lies madness. No, yeah, that sounds like hell. Also, the idea of trying to make that into content sounds awful. Like, if I'm saying stuff on Twitter, it's because I genuinely care about it. Like, very, very strong moral and ethical, like, feelings. You know, like, I care a lot about... Well, I care a lot about a lot of things. But, like, you know, I care very strongly about military stuff coming from, like, a, what, 5-generation military family? I care very strongly about healthcare stuff because, obviously... care very strongly about career issues because yeah, just, and then care very strongly about AI because I've been in the middle of... I was involved in AI research before OpenAI kind of did their thing, and then they did their thing, and I've been like very first with all my friends have been involved, different degrees, and it's just been everything. And you know, where I live, like military contract, you go into defense contracting, you go into intelligence work. That's what you do if you do computer science where I live. That's what all my classmates did. I have a classmate that made drones. He worked on well, no, I pivoted from AI to computer graphics research. I was like, hold on, wait, no, I like graphics way more. I was on the defense contractor pipeline, actually. I was in that. Until basically somebody gave me shit for it in college. Somebody called me out, and like I processed it, and I was like, oh yeah, hold on, I shouldn't do this. And I kind of reevaluated what I wanted to do, and it turned out I wanted to do computer graphics research, but then COVID happened and I developed agoraphobia. So like, getting a PhD didn't really work out. Graduating also didn't work out. That was like the second time I dropped out. It's fine. We've ended up in a place. I don't know if it's a good place, but we've ended up in a place. Now I'm getting my master's. But yeah, I care very strongly about AI for obvious reasons. And defense contracting in the military and all of that. Not that I've ever bitten my tongue about things, but also I'm gonna be honest, maybe antagonizing or criticizing major things in the space and some of the things I might have said about contractors and veterans. There may be some things you shouldn't say publicly on social media all the time, maybe. If you have your own interests in mind. But do I regret saying those? Would I take back what I said? No, not really. That's the problem. And nobody else was fucking saying it. That's the thing. That's the thing with all of this. Nobody was saying anything. People were saying, like, people have been privately talking about a lot of these things for, like, well over a year in this space, but nobody was willing to say anything. And it's been infuriating. Obviously, people aren't saying anything for very good reason. You don't want to burn every potential bridge, especially if you want to do this at all professionally. At all? But, like... And also, you don't want the backlash, you don't want to alienate... But nobody was saying anything, and I got pissed. Yeah. The fun, yeah. This is, okay, the too long didn't read for everyone who has not been on Twitter is, V-Fleet did their debuts for their new wave the same day we, started bombing Iran. Mosabox publicly was doing meet and greets and merchandise for some pretty infamous right-wing grifters and AI artists. Like insanely, and they had been doing it for a little while, but like it was straight up using Gen AI in one of their announcement things, and it was like, okay, what are you doing? Because I have friends who work with them. It's like, and I have friends who have almost worked with them, and I've had Oshis who have worked with them, and it's like, and then the Navy recruiter popped up. And I have very strong feelings about a lot of these, because I'm from like a 5-generation military family. I have not seen what's on the other end. I have friends who have been on the other end of US military intervention, is what I'll say. Like, I have friends whose families have been bombed. Like, it's not... And that's the thing, when you're in an international community, that happens. And then, yeah. And then, you know, I have seen firsthand the ways that how recruiting works, the situations that people are encouraged to kind of allow to fester to make people targets for recruiting. And what the end of enlistment spits back out. I have seen people go in to escape abusive households, find opportunity, they get spit back out, and they turn to alcoholism to deal with what they went through, and they become abusive parents themselves, and the cycle repeats. It's not great. It's not great. And my depression's not great. I have been admitted to mental hospitals a couple times. I have had many conversations with people who served and tried to kill themselves because of it, and have been left abandoned. And none of the people I talk to like this, the one thing they have always said is they wish no one else, like, they don't want kids to sign up. That's the thing. They're not proud of what they did. They don't feel like they did any good. They feel like they're all very, very anti-enlistment at this point. And everything, what they did and what was done to them has fucked up their lives permanently. And it was just, it's just a bad situation. Don't enlist. Like, it's one of those, like, people are like, well, it's the only opportunity for all these kids in poverty and all of that. And it's like, it's not good for getting you out. It leaves you off worse than, and again, like, this isn't just as a bystander. My dad's military. Both my grandfathers are military. I think both of their dads were military. My uncles are military. My cousins are military. My, you know, it's, I've seen this happen many, many generations, and I've seen what it does to people, and I've seen people join for all sorts of reasons. And I've seen people who've had positive experiences from it, but I've also seen so many people spit back out and chewed up and left, and, you know, abandoned too. Like, God knows that for all the, like, honor our veteran, like, stuff that our country did, we've also fucking abandoned them. Oh, veterans have great healthcare through the, you know, through veteran affair, like, through the, like, veteran hospital and all of that. Those, no, it's fucking hard to get seen. The wait lists are so long. It's like, it's not good. It's all bad. It's one of those things that it's like, even my dad, who is as, like, centrist, like, pro-defense, like, you know, like as they come, was determined to never let me enlist, ever. He was like, no, like, it will literally kill you. Like, you are never allowed to do any of this. Anyway, I have very strong feelings on it. I have a lot of personal experience with what it's done to people, both in my family and outside of my family, and with friends and classmates and all of that. I have very, very strong opinions, and I do know that a lot of people will disagree with what I'm saying. That's fine. There are some things, though, that I think I feel very strongly about. I feel like anyone currently serving should leave. I feel like at a certain point, you have to draw the line somewhere. And I feel like keeping your head down for retirement benefits, it will means you're okay with certain things if you get retirement benefits. And that's what I feel strongly. You know, I feel strongly about that. Like, at some point you have to draw the line, and if you never draw the line, that says a lot of stuff. Yeah. Anyway. And this is why I will probably never have a sponsor ever, or ever be involved in a convention, or any sort of event, or anything. That's fine. I mean, I'm not going to be involved with other things anyway, because I want to do all sorts of content, and some of which is not appropriate for YouTube. I want to do, I mean, I think it's fine. Some people dream of being corpo. I dream of people seeing my channel and my content and clips and going, what the actual fuck is she doing? Like, I think that is... Yeah. Do I sometimes wish I could bite my tongue, though, and I didn't care about all these things so strongly, and I was willing to bite my tongue and play nice and be more social and all of that? Yes. Yes, maybe, yes. I wish that sometimes. And while I don't regret saying what I said, I do regret some of the bridges I may have burned in the process. I regret burning those bridges, but I don't think I would have said the other thing. No, but but when it comes down to it, I would have made the decision again. Maybe? Does that make sense? I also regret saying things because, like, I have a few close friends in VTubing, and I don't want people to have bad associations for associating with me. Even if they do, even if, like... Yeah. Even people that agree, I don't want to have to publicly associate with someone who says these things. I'm not going to be collabing with people probably in the future very often, if at all. I think that's kind of what I've decided, that if I'm going to say these things, though... that's something I'm not going to be able to do in the future. Because I don't... If I'm saying stuff, I want the backlash to be on me. It's also why I removed the Oshi marks from my bio. I post about Oshis, and, like, I help facilitate a fan community, but I also, like... You know? There is a reason why I don't talk about the fan community often on my social media or have it in my Discord profile or anything. I know a lot of other people who are involved with fan communities have that very prominently displayed. I don't. Because, I mean, specifically, how I run the fan community as, like, the owner does not reflect my personal beliefs. I've drawn that line. There are things I allow in there that I would not allow in my own space. And there are things I don't allow in there that I would allow in my own space. And I have had to argue with other staff sometimes about on the side that I don't believe in. Does that... Because, you know, it is not a space for me. It's not meant to be a space, and it's not meant to be a space for me. The idea is it's meant to be a welcoming space, and it's meant to foster a positive community, but it's also a space dedicated to someone else. That's my thoughts on that. I've thought about stepping down a lot, though. But also, I think some people would eat me if I did. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. I've been thinking about a lot of things. I've been stuck in bed, in pain, thinking about a lot of things. That's why I started talking, because I got so upset. Getting eaten? That's like the most cedar phrase that's ever been said in my chat. God. Anyway, Not into vor. Not into vor, not into cannibalism. Those are not my things. Putting that out there. Just putting that out there. Those are not my... That's not my things. One day, some people might learn about my tastes. Maybe on other websites. A little bit more. Because to be quite frank, even in some of the group chats that I'm in, I keep quiet about a lot of things. That'll happen... So Holly Mama needs to draw a couple things, maybe? Just a couple things. And, just some things. And I need a rig. Also, I'm probably gonna wait until I move. Because when I move, I'm gonna have a lot more privacy. I don't have a door. I don't know if I've told you guys this. There is no door to my living space. We have had to remove the door from the hinges because we could not keep it open because it blocked too much of the kitchen. And the cats needed to come up and down. Yes, I don't have a door. I don't have privacy. We really don't have privacy in this house because the big thing is the cats need to be able to come in and leave the rooms. Me living in the basement and Disaster and Small Dog living on the second floor means there is some amount of privacy. And we do try and respect each other's spaces. You know, like there's always like, you know, can I come down? Is it okay if I come down and do laundry? And it's like, yes. And like, you know, like knocking on, like, you know, like it's meant to be, you know, we have our spaces. Disaster has his office space. Small Dog kind of has the room as her space, like her room, and I have the basement as my space. Well, Disaster and Small Dogs, you know, share a room, but she like hermits in there while Disaster uses the office. So we have our own spaces, but there is not much privacy in this house. The cats don't even let us close the bathroom half the time. God. Because Small Dog has really bad claustrophobia, so she can't latch the door. But the cats will sometimes barrel in, like so she doesn't latch it. But it's, you know, like closed. But sometimes the cats will just jam their way and barge the door open. It's, yeah. No, there's not a lot of privacy in this house. Me moving into my mom's place, you know, I will basically have a floor. She will have a floor. And we are probably gonna, like, whatever space I stream in, we're going to sound treat. You know, both like for better audio, but also like we're gonna like soundproof it as well. Kind of on both sides. Like, I don't want people to hear the dogs barking, and I don't want anyone to hear what I'm saying. So I'm going to have a lot more privacy when I live with my mom. Which is funny talking about doing that kind of stuff when I'm moving in with family, but my mom also doesn't give a shit. She is all for it. She's like, yeah. My mom is funny. I love my mom so much. I mean, that's part of why I want to move with her, because I see her health and mental state declining so much. So, yeah. So there's like, there's a lot of things that we might do. But yeah. And also, because she has dogs, and I mean, they're all like they're all rats, like they're all small, but they are, they're dogs, and Grib is a cat, and they do bark at the cats. You know, that is not their, so, you know, a large part of it will be, getting stuff out, so the what's it called? You know, getting it so that Grubby has her own safe space as well. Then she might get her own little catio. I'm gonna download this one, and then... No one has hard eyes, but it's fine. It's fine. I was gonna set up a reference model of a reference sheet of my new model. But this stream has been enough of a disaster that, yeah. Anyway, let's see. I am gonna show off, though, the new model right now. Because I want to show it off. Oh my god, it's so big. So it's not rigged. So I'm not showing off any rigging. It is pure, and it's not done. It's not done either. And I don't even know if these are the final versions. They are mostly. So, and there's no, yes, I'm showing the YouTube versions. And there's no, kerchief yet. We don't have a kerchief yet. But, this is... Here, let me turn off the loading animation while I show this off. I think they are final. I think they're final. Ah, what is that? What did I just load? What? What image is that? Help! Yeah, but I can't find the photo. Is it this? No. This? No. No. No, where is it? No. Help. I think I know what photo that is, but where is it? Help. Help, I can't find it. No. No. Oh my god. This? No. This? No. Why do I have all these sources enabled, but not visible? Oh, okay, there we go. I found it, I found it, I found it, I found it. No, that's a picture of a rainforest in Hawaii. Anyway, new updated model. More robot-looking eyes, which I'm extremely happy about. We're going to be able to toggle the kerchief. There's like scan lines in the eyes, if you can see. I really like what Holly Mama did with the eyes. They're very good. Let me move up my own avatar to compare. The cuffs are different. If you've noticed, they're definitely more Mega Man-y. And then the plug is different. Much bigger. And there's an important difference in the knees. If you noticed. And there's some pretty big differences with the boots. Yeah. And this isn't the only version. Even of the YouTube stuff, there's still, let me place another one. Yeah, those are just 0. Okay, so, let's just say on a version of the model with less clothes, there is a tattoo in the around the pelvis area that's a barcode that may or may not lead, that may or may not be the ISBN for the Mega Man Zero art book. Yeah, nobody knew where that was going. People are like, oh, I'm going to be talking about the fact that there is a barcode. No. It's what the barcode leads to. That's the important bit. All right, where is this image? No, it's a barcode. All right. We also have, you know, flushed emotion, obviously. Heart pupils. I'm going to be linking these. I have there's 2 versions. I don't have the fear toggles like saved out to anything. But so for me playing different kinds of games, there's like flush and fear. I can also use them interchangeably if I want like terrified eyes with flesh. But I'm gonna link these to my heart rate. Which I never noticed the ears also blushing. But anyway, we can remove the sweater now. And it shows off a bunch of the joints. It's also it's the same gray bodysuit that you find in Mega Man Zero. Mega Man ZX. Those games were very influential on the model. Yeah, the shoulder joints. It's actually based off of a brass garage kit shoulder joints that I have for Megami Device. We also have elbow joints. Also based off of Megami Device. Holly Mama... I feel so bad for her. The amount of reference pictures I sent to that poor woman. And instruction manuals. And photos of actual model kits. From Megami Device. And Frame Arm Girls. And all sorts of the Mega Man Zero Eastern model kits. And oh my god, that poor woman. Yeah, you know way too much about it now. And then you bought multiple of the kits as a result. But yes, if you notice where the shoulder connects to the upper arm, it's not one piece. So it can turn. The entire model is physically accurate. It is made so that I can make a plastic version of her, and I will. I have most of the parts. I really need to figure out like the hair, and then I need to like actually make the clothes out of cloth. No, it is a physically real kit. That's Holly Mama went insane. No, I'm probably gonna do 3D printed hair. Because I like the plastic robot girls. So it's physically accurate. And then you guys can't see it, but the upper torso, stomach, pelvis, all of that is also modeled like an actual model kit. You can draw the hair however you want. Canonically, it's plastic, but as you can see, it is rigged, and it's going to be rigged. Suspension of disbelief, basically. But yeah, like, these are actual knee joints. These aren't just, oh, Holly Mama just drew robot knee joints. These are the actual Megami device knee joints. This is from the Mechanica 2? I think it's the Mechanica 2.0 iteration, that Megami device and a few of the other Dark Advent and Cheeto Curium and Vox Flockers? I don't know if I remember all of them. Yeah, that's okay, guys. Yeah, but basically it's heck. Holly Mama went insane. Like if you you saw in the, let me, oh, I hit it. Like the little shoulder, the little like gold part on them. Here we go. Like that little gold bit peeking out. That's a brass garage kit part that I imported from Japan. That's not like, oh, we just did that for like a little pop of color. It's like, no, because I have a literal brass part that I use for the shoulder joints. The one of the Tindalos stuff that was then, you can get like Chinese knockoff versions, but like I have the actual authentic garage kit brass parts. For that and the torso and the hips. Yeah. The shoulder joint actually doesn't quite work like that, and there's like some seams missing, you know, like there's like some obviously aesthetic changes. It's not one-to-one, but it's pretty one-to-one. And little pops that I would add like little brass rod and stuff. But yes, no, it is it's basically my Mecha Musume fixation distilled into a model. And Holly does such a good job. It's so good. Oh yeah, there's like blue screen of death eyes too, for like the fear stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I need to rig it. I don't remember any of rigging. I've been in pain so long, so much of everything has been a blur. Yeah. Yeah. Like, my ability to learn and retain information has been completely fucked. Well, it's good now. We'll be good now. Yeah, and so, but yeah, my goal is to hook up a lot more biometrics, to my model. Also, I'm going, you know, like, I want to have the option of using, like, one of those, brainwave sensors for the Ahoge to make it rigged. I want to use a, ankle tracker for the tail. I have a bunch of MIDI sliders that I can use for toggles and stuff. And like, hook things up to my heart rate and like have a torso tracker. So like when I do this IRL, I'm moving my torso around, and I want to be able to like move around and sway and stuff without it all being linked to my head tracking. Because you can do like all the lean and stuff. I want it to actually track lean based on torso movement with the Slime VR torso tracker. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Yeah, it's basically gonna be like full. Yeah, like I think it's furry VTubers that do it. Moon, send me links. I want to see what they're doing. I also want to see if somebody's already made it this, so that I don't have to make the OSC integration myself, even though making the OSC integration would be cool for visibility as a project. But, like, if someone's already made it, then I'm not... You know, I'm not going to, Yeah. I am not super territorial about ideas or projects. If someone else has beaten me to it, I am all for that. I've just not seen it. I know some people use like the Mocapi and like other stuff too, but that's like all proprietary. Like the goal is to do full OSC. So basically anything you can work with VR chat, anything that works with VR chat, however you hack it into work, should work. It uses the same communication protocol. You should be able to send to live 2D tracking parameters. So you can add this to full body motion tracking. You can use those control parts of the model. Like, obviously your artist needs to do stuff, and it's not going to be like super easy. You will need to design and rig parts of the model to fit some things, but you can also just do fun stuff like having your ears wiggle, like controlled to, yeah, brainwave tracking works with that, for instance. Like just having like the ears wiggle, or like the tail sway, or the ahoge bounce, or like all of that. You know, to me, it'll just be like a little bits of liveliness and all of that you can add to a model, which is really fun. Okay, so with the mishmashed model, okay, first off, there's going to be a version of Lily that has a different skin tone. Why am I saying that like it's like scandalous? There's going to be a like unearthly pale version, if that makes sense. Kind of palish blue. Yeah, she is becoming whiter. It does not look like a human skin tone. So it's meant to be like more like virus infection, kind of the idea. Like the like corrupted style. All that. Yeah, it looks like porcelain. Like it's kind of like that porcelain, like sometimes like the like weird palish bluish that they use for like demons and stuff. Hi Gribby, you were blocking my mouth again. Thank you. You know, that they use for like demons and like artwork and all of that kind of stuff. And there might be variations at some point with like cracked pieces and like other stuff. So basically it's going to be, Holly has put in all this work in figuring out how the hell to make this model like physically accurate, like the upcoming one. We're not gonna ditch that. We're gonna keep it. And any future outfits and stuff are going to be modular parts. So the idea is I will be able to kind of kit bash between models. Is the whole idea. I will be able to mix and match. Obviously, it probably won't be all in the same file because, you know, I don't want to, like, kill my computer. But also, like, a Blastar, maybe. Maybe in Mega Man Arc. But the whole idea is, you know, there's going to be more. I'll be able to, like, build on top of stuff, and it'll be fun. You know, it's not meant to be... Basically, the 1.5 revision isn't meant to be a final static model. It's something... Fuzzy, they do that. Look up Dark Advent... What's her name? Sophia? I think it's Sophia? Anyway. You want to look up the deluxe version. It's the Dragon Girl. Anyway. But yeah, no, the idea is it's basically not meant to be a static dead model. If that makes sense. It is also because I will be rigging it as I'm going to be practicing with rigging is kind of the thing. I'm going to be improving and iterating on it. So that's going to be kind of... I will get to fiddle with and tinker with the model. And I think that's going to be one of the most fun parts about it. Is if I think up some dumb feature and I can rig it, I can do that. If I think up some dumb feature and I can commission it, and, you know, I have the income to do that, I can probably commission Holly to add it. And so it'll be like a fun living model that I can, like, kit bash and modify and improve and iterate on. And I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be, like... You know, there's the thing where, like, every VTuber model, like, every different model looks very, very different. You know, there's that approach to model, but I like the ones where it's, like, kind of more... I don't know. Like, I have this base model. The one thing... is we never discuss what height she should be before Holly started drawing it. So she's, like, shorter. So the proportions are, like, shorter than originally intended. She's supposed to be a bit taller. But it's like one of those, like, kind of too late now. She lost quite a bit of height. If we, like, redo the model... Maybe. Holly did do some work, though, to make the proportions more, but I can't really show that off well on YouTube. Holly did do some really good work, though, with making with getting the proportions feeling right. But yeah, that was on me. Because I did want her to reflect my real height with her being like 174 centimeters. You can call that 5'8" or 5'9", depending on what you want to call it. Calling it 5'8.5" is like weird. Too, like, that's what it is. Like, that's what 174 centimeters is. But it's like, oh, well, I don't want to just be 5'8". I want to be a little taller, or, oh, well, I want to make myself a little short. It's like, it feels weird. So I usually just round it. I am 1 Nani Wazuni tall. Yes, I am 1 Nani Wazuni tall. I'm the same height as Implode. I'm the same height as Murphy, maybe? Same height as Huni, same height as Mira, apparently. I mean, it's a pretty standard height. Huni's, I think, like, a little bit more on the 5'9" side. Hunie has like a little bit of us. A little bit on us. But, yeah. Yeah, it's not especially tall. It's not especially short. It's like tall for one, but like I'm trans, so like... Yeah. That's to be expected. But like... Yeah, 5'8" is like a funny height. There are people who maybe thought I was her height for a little bit, despite having met me. She said that after, like, we'd, like, interacted in person twice. On different occasions. Not, like, twice, like on multiple events. Not just, like, single instances. So it was like, huh? What are you talking about? Yeah. Well, people have different... It's like how I think like that, like, Rice Nat is over 6 feet tall, even though when he's, like, not. He just has that energy. When you meet him, he comes across as much taller than he is. Same with Hunie. Hunie comes across as much taller than I am. But when, like, Hunie and I actually interact, we're the same height. Yeah. Anyway... Yeah. Trying to think of what else I wanted to say. Oh, Speed Racer is one of the best movies of all time. You should have seen it in theaters if there was a theater around you that was showing it. And if you didn't, you missed out. FOMO deserved. It's really good. It's perfect casting, amazing costume design, amazing visual effects, amazing audio. The pacing and the script were perfect. It was a tonally perfect adaptation of the original source material. It was like perfect. Like, as someone who watched a lot of Speed Racer as a kid, it was a perfect adaptation. It has the same tonal, like, you know, like the tonality you would expect of original Speed Racer, where it's obviously a children's show and then sometimes they bust out the guns and it's a bunch of criminals. It was good. It was insanely good. I'm very glad that we managed to catch it. I think the last day it was in theaters. Because I was really bummed about not being able to see it. But then it turned out it was still showing, so it's also one of those movies where when it came out, why? I can see why people hated it back then. The pacing is like very, very like breakneck. It is like, it's ADHD. Like it is like very video gamey was a term that people used back in the day. Nowadays it almost has like the kind of like, I don't want to say YouTube Shorts or TikTok pacing, but kind of that idea. It never stops. It never breathes. Intentionally so, though. It is very intentionally constant. The CGI is intentionally artificial, which is why it has held up. They used CGI when CGI was completely unnecessary, like with the clouds and the grass and stuff, and then didn't use CGI they had like a lot of model work apparently, which like they had a weird amount of practical effects, which I was very, very surprised by. But as a result, despite it coming out in 2008, it like really holds up way better than a lot of everything like from that era. Like all of the digital effects hold up perfectly. And they use it to like make things cartoony or uncanny in the what's a good comparison? Lazy Town. Lazy Town is a perfect comparison for how they do a lot of the visual direction in it. Except it's Lazy Town if you took meth. It is so overstimulating and tension. So if you have any photosensitivity, you can never ever see this film. Like every single part of it is seizure inducing, basically. Not every part, but like 80 or 90% of it is incredibly seizure inducing from the beginning, and every single part about every one of the races. They, you know, that type of animation where it's like the strobing effect of like the horse running. You know, and it's like very like choppy. They have that playing in the background of one of the tunnels that they're racing in while you have the cars racing. So it's like this high, like it is so visually overstimulating and very intentionally so, but it's like, yeah, it is. You know, there's a post I saw, like, what's the runtime of the movie? Oh, 18 hours, because I had a seizure in like the first 10 minutes, and that's how long it took me to gain consciousness and turn it off. Yeah, Zoe Trips. Like, it is that kind of movie. The whole they invented new color. It is one of those films that you would be like, oh, this is why HDR is a thing. It is specifically for this kind of film. It's a good movie. Like, I really heavily recommend it if you have no photosensitivity. If you have even mild photosensitivity, it will not be a fun time. If you have issues with sensory overstimulation, it is also not going to be a fun time. It is very much... But it's never... It is loud, but it's not harsh. It's not like Cruelty Squad. It is like the type of over... It is not like Cruelty Squad. Cruelty Squad is intentionally very harsh and grating. It is oversensitivity in a very unpleasant sort of way. This is like going out to like a club or like a like certain kinds of concerts or whatnot. You know, like strobing lights, bright lights, all of that, but like not meant to be harsh. It is just meant to be overstimulating. It's not meant to be unpleasant. It's meant to be very fast. Yeah. Somebody said it's called Speed Racer, not Slow Racer, but yes, it is basically that. It is, I mean, it's a really fun film. Definitely one of my favorites. It is easily going in like my top 5 movies. It is, and you can tell like they really loved the source material, but they weren't super beholden to the source material when they didn't need to be. It is its own thing. Hi, Parabla. Oh, hi, Grunt. Yeah. Hello. It is one of those things where the story and tonality and everything is very Speed Racer, but it is a slightly different adaptation than the other ones. There's like changes in the character backgrounds. Certain characters are given more attention and personality and all of that, and it works really well. Like the mom is definitely given a much more anything than in the show. The and then and how they handle Razor X is really good. Like if you see the actor, they do his mask and how he's very similar to like the first Daredevil movie. Like that same, but like, and it's just it's good. I really like it. It's just it's one of those movies where I'm like, I could not, if you held me at gunpoint, I would not be able to tell you a way to improve upon it. It is a perfect adaptation, I think, of the source material. I am still I've only been streaming for like an hour. An hour? We don't count that. There was a half-hour stream that's unarchived. Yay! Sorry, Small Dog came home and she's like, "Are you still streaming?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Hi, Gubby. Grubby was looking over at Auntie. Yeah. 118 minutes? Okay. That's 2 hours? Okay. Well... Oh, it has been 2 hours. That is 2 hours. But yeah. What else did I want to talk about? Moving forward. So I talked about this a little bit before all the hospital trips. I definitely want to, now that I'm not dying and struggling with everything, I want to work on my projects that I've been wanting to work on. The OSC tracking, a lot of like electronics projects. I want to give you guys a mascot version that isn't the squid. We're still keeping the squid. Let's just say the designer of this squid has given permission to use it in R18 contexts, maybe. Thank you, Cindy. So if I get the 2.0 model, or not the 2.0, that's not a good way to describe it. If I get a second model, the squid, the calamalware, it will be more heavily kind of involved with the aesthetics of that one. It'll be... We'll see if that model ever happens. Well, it'll happen. The ref sheet for it is insane. It is an insane future model. A little bit less YouTube focused is what I'll say. Although I will definitely steal versions of it for YouTube. Like bits of it. Because again, modular model. It'll be fun. But anyway, but I want to give you guys an actual mascot design. Besides that, I want to do the little, the Lilybwees. And I think it'll be cute. I think little battery bees that explode is a good... Because they're cheaply made. They are cheaply made and don't have proper power regulation. And contain lithium-ion batteries. Yeah, so, and it's gonna be based on the alarm clock project that I want to do, where I was like, I want an Alarmo, and someone was like, just make your own Alarmo, and I was like, what if I made my own Alarmo? And that's... I have all the parts. All my project parts, though, are like all mixed into things, and it's gonna be... Oh yeah, there's gonna be tongue tracking. we're next model's gonna, or the updated model's gonna have V-Bridger. So you'll be able to see me like stick out my tongue and stuff. Not gonna go too like hyper tracking on the face though. I don't want to go like Uncanny Valley. Like I think the amount of like a little bit more tracking on the face would be nice, but like I like the current rigging quite a bit. And like you know, like this amount of like wiggliness and like and damping and all of that, like I don't need to make it like bouncy or whatever. It's good as is. I like it. But yeah, so this model will be the reference model, if that makes sense, for any of the rigging. It's not going to be exactly the same because I will be rigging it, not Holly Mama. But the goal will be to make this model, the updated rigging, match up pretty closely to this one, so it feels like a refresh, not like a whole new thing. You know, because it would be I like how, I don't know if it's like blocking my eye tracking or if my eyes actually do the like thing where only like one of them closes sometimes. I don't know. Impossible to tell. It captures like a lot of my expressions really well though. Like that's the... It's very funny seeing my face. Like the VTuber, No, my eyes are doing that. Oops. Anyway, No, I don't have my glasses on, actually. Yeah, no, that my eyes actually did, where the one just blinked and then the other... Yes, actually, no, the eye tracking is pretty common, pretty accurate for this. Anyway, but no, so my model does have like my same fuck-ass expressions and stuff, like the... It's really funny when I try and make, when I try and make thumbnails, because it's like, oh, that's just my stupid face. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so the goal is to work on more projects, work on game project, work on tracker, work on, we're gonna finish Armored Core. We're gonna finish Pokemon Z. ZA. Pokemon Z. And we're gonna finish Final Fantasy 12. But like, we're actually gonna finish a few things, but then I'm unsure what I want to do for games specifically. I definitely want to go more into retro stuff, but I'm not sure if I want to do like RPGs or like long running things or not. We'll figure it out. But there's definitely going to be like a lot more, it really needs DLC. It's going to be more, you know, more projects, probably more co-working streams. There's gonna be like some 3D printing stuff. And then and I do want to slowly Oh, and there's also gonna be some like FF14 stuff on Twitch. I'm gonna start playing that game again. I have 400 something hours, and like I only got to Heaven's Ward. I was not RPing. I was like doing random shit in the Gold Saucer and people watching and just like fucking around. But my goal for FF14 is, well, like catch up on content. But more importantly, Palace of the Dead. I want to get the Necromancer title. I've wanted to do that ever since I found out that it was Thing. Yeah, I haven't played in like 5 years, but I really wanted to get the Necromancer title, and apparently it's still really fucking hard to get the Necromancer title. Like, that is like still one of those things that's very, very difficult to get. I think it's gotten a little easier. But I remember when nobody had it. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the Reach Floor 2, the Floor 200 solo one, yep. So I'm excited to play with that. But that'll probably be on, what is Fabulously Twitter? Slay 100 elite marks of... I think Disaster has left already. But, are those the things that you do hunt trains for? He might have it. Because that's his favorite thing to do in the game. Because he's an FF11 player. At 1000, he's an FF11 player. I need you to understand. FF11 player. Built a new PC for 14.1.0. But funnily enough, doesn't have the mark on his like the neck mark, because actually his he wasn't playing his current character that he plays in A Realm Reborn during he was playing a different one. He has the Onion Knight helm though. He has the Onion Knight helm from the pre-ordering. Yeah, he has the Onion Knight outfit. Because he has the 1.0 collector's edition, so he has that on his character. Yeah, so I will probably be playing some FF14. I'll be going through it. I don't know if I'll be playing with other people or anything. I don't know. But they've made a lot of the game very single player now, which is good for me. That's kind of why the reason I dropped the game is because I have really bad social anxiety, and I always feel like I'm imposing if I ask people to play with me, so I wasn't really able to progress very well. Yeah. It made it very hard to go dungeoning, which is the entire way you progress through the game. If you get anxiety about playing in parties. I've always played MMOs as a solo game, so even with friends, I would kind of wander off and do my own thing. But yeah, no, trust system will make it good. Yeah, and we'll see how the new combat system works. Obviously, I haven't touched the game so long, I don't have thoughts. I hope you have more options to play wrong now, though. FF14 is basically antithetical. Is it antithetical or antithetical? It's one of those two. Antithetical. To what I want in MMOs. It's very... You have railings. It's very, you know... Well, it's also on rails, but it's very, they don't let you fail. If that makes sense? You can't fuck up your character. You can't fuck up your character. You can't play your character weirdly. It... Increasingly homogenized. Just everything... Like, where's my damage over times on Scholar? Man, I missed that. I liked that. That was fun. Like, remember when you had, like, the what was it, the subclass that, like, gave you some of their, yeah, I miss my dots. Where you had some of, like, where you would, like, grab skills from, like, other characters and stuff, like, other, yeah, the cross-class skills. That was really fun. And it's just, I also don't like I don't like dungeons requiring certain party makeups. Like, I don't like that. I mean, they have structured the game so that you don't get yelled at, basically. They really don't want you to get yelled at. But, like, let me play my character wrong. I don't know. It's... I don't like it. I don't like that part of it. And there's no character customization. Like, when it comes to how things play, there's no weird, unique items. Like you don't have the like... I mean, yeah, sure, it sucks, but, like, you don't have the weirdness of the FF11 uniques. You don't have stats you can allocate. You don't... Like... You can't, like, do different builds? It's like... You get your... It's all very... It's all very linear. I don't like that. If you're building a game as an RPG, I want to be able to do weird stuff. No, I've never played Guild Wars. Play PoE? I've played some Path of Exile. My ex-husband was super addicted to it. So it's like... It's a very friendly experience. If the game was released as a single-player RPG, I would be fine with it. It plays like one of those Final Fantasy, like one of the ones without the job classes. Does that make sense? But it's an MMO, so I expect some level of customization and jank to it, but it doesn't have those. It's too polished. I mean, it has jank in weird spots. God, fuck Chocobo Racing. Fuck Chocobo Racing. I have never... No, but 12 lets you do weird things with your characters. That's the thing. 12 lets you do more things than 14 does. Single player 14 with freedom is 12, yes. I love Ellen. I want to play more Ellen. But yeah. But that being said, 14's a fun game. It's just not quite what I want from a MMORPG. It is... They have polished off the rough edges of it. Like, or polished down. There's not a lot of friction to how to play. The big friction in FF14 is realizing that you need to do damage as a healer. Which for some reason people have a lot of issue with conceptually, but like that's... Healers also do damage in FF14, which is weird for an RPG. If you're used to Final Fantasy games, that's very weird, but it's very important in 14. There have been expansions where White Mage especially out DPSs some of the DPS classes. And that's... Yeah. Yep, Stormblood. Stormblood's funny. But yeah, they've just also like... I was really excited to get the Heavensward to play Astro, because I wanted to play the gambling class, where you can fuck up. That was the thing that I was excited to do, like a Corsair style gambling in FF11. And they removed the gambling because you could fuck up, and then people got mad at you. And they wanted to remove that because players got upset. It's like things like that. Like, or like removing cleric stance because people thought it was too complicated. It wasn't. Like, it's... Yeah, classes are... I don't know, it's just not fun. Like, whatever. It's a very casual MMO. It's also very funny because, like, I say, like, you know, oh, 400 hours, or people like, oh yeah, they have hundreds of hours, or whatever. But, like, I look at my, like, RuneScape playtime, and, like, on this new, fresh account that I've only played the seasonal game mode, I have, like, over 150 hours. And it's like... well... It's kind of very funny, like, the... just the time investment, it kind of... like, yeah, a lot of the hardcore content, like, seems to be from, like, the crafting and the raiding and stuff, which I've never done. But it's just, it's funny, though, what people, like, consider a lot when I'm, like... You know, your RuneScape accounts, you know, you play for several thousand hours. And a lot of people have multiple accounts. That's the thing. Yeah. So like 7,000 hours in an MMO, I'm like, yeah, that's normal. That's a normal amount from an MMO to me. So it's funny when people talk about like, oh, they have like 500 or 600 hours or whatever, or oh, there's a huge problem because it takes like 200 hours to get to like the end game or like end game content or whatever. That's a problem. I'm like, what do you mean it's a problem? That's like, and a lot of these others, that's like, you're maybe barely out of like early game. Like what, like $400 or $500 is for, not dollars, hours. And that's like maybe where you start. Maybe where you start like early mid game in a lot of games. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of a single player game. Maybe. So I've been very sick. I've had my Switch on my phone, basically. I've not been able to use my desktop computer. Oh, I have a laptop that doesn't burn me now. This I got it for my master's program. I have a laptop that doesn't actually physically hurt to touch to use. I don't know if you guys remember me trying to stream on a laptop before when I was at my mom's. That was back on Twitch. Yeah, where like trying to stream from the laptop, I physically could not use it because it was so hot. Like putting my fingers on the keyboard like literally burnt them. We have a Mac now. Turns out Macs are like good at not getting stupidly hot. And good for programming. It's good for a master's program. So. But I wasn't able to actually use the Mac a lot because a lot of the positions that I had to be in to use a laptop in bed were painful for me. There's a lot of lying down. And very specific poses. I've been in a lot of pain. Gubby has been slowly going, and Gubby has lost it. She could not handle me being in bed for so long. Right, you can go up. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, she's grooming my hand right now. Am I running low on energy? Yeah, this is the most I've talked in a while. Most of my talking has been listening to Small Dog's, like, you know, to Disaster, Small Dog's partner, or on the phone. But yeah. So I don't know what we're streaming next week. Probably co-working stream. I need a YouTube chat. I also need to make my sister's graduation gift. So I need to start doing stuff. Yeah, I don't think I have the energy right now to do a long stream, but we'll do stuff in the future. I'm excited. Alright. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone who came. It means a lot. Thank you for not forgetting about me. Thank you for all the memberships. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. I'll be back next week. And we will... Oh yeah, I am tired. Yep. Definitely next week, though. Not this week. Partially because I have a bunch of assignments for my master's program, too. I'm taking an AI course. I fucking hate it. Because it's a modern AI course in a professional program. It's like, like, last week was fine. Last week was like a bunch of like background and underlying in the maths and stuff. This week is literally prompting frameworks. It's like, fuck you. Whatever, it's fine. 10 weeks. It is 10-week terms. And I have like close to 100 in that course anyway. So. It's fine. Yeah, my hope is the bubble pops by the time I get my master's. It might destroy the economy, but like, we're already kind of doing that. So, might as well make things worse, right? If things are already bad, why not go all the way? Right? In for a penny, whatever it is. Yeah. If there's already a fire going on, why not light a few more? Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. I missed this. I'm excited. Definitely, though, burned out, but I will be ramping up to more streams, more frequent streams. I will obviously be taking some days off to well, do schoolwork. And I will hopefully be posting less on Twitter and causing fewer problems. Hopefully. No promises. But I'm hoping. Really hoping. I'll be good. I'll behave. Rehabilitate my image. No, I've already burned those bridges. It's fine. Whatever. I'm gonna be doing stuff on other sites anyway, so I'm already gonna be burning every bridge anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I have no hopes of being brand safe at this point. Which is fine. Lilybwees! Bye, everyone! Can I play... Do you want a fun stream in the future? Imagine me playing Metal Gear nowadays. Alright, Lilybwees.